From cheers of the fans to the crack of the bat, learn it all from Jimbo, Gabe, Mike, and Matt. Giving thoughts on all public teams, whether times are boom or if they are lean. Hero players that you should know, not only the good things, highs and the lows. Here it is, we're ready to go. Please enjoy the podcast. On with the show.
Good morning, good evening, and good everything in between, wherever you are, and welcome to the podcast. I'm your host, Jim Obernicki, and I'm joined as always by Mr. Gabe Lorman. How you doing, Gabe?
Doing well. I just wish the weather would make up its mind. It's been crazy the last little while, but hey, long weekend coming up, for at least for us Canadians. Sorry, Mike.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's been as schizophrenic in Toronto as it is here, because, like, some days it's beautiful, it's excellent, and then I heard this weekend it's supposed to go back down to, like, 10 degrees and freezing for seasonal purposes. That's freezing cold now. It's been awful. It's been the same for you guys?
Yep.
Well, that's fun. Today's been beautiful, so I'm happy about that at least. And we are joined also, as always, by Mr. Michael Bealey. How you doing, Mike?
If you're wondering, I'm looking at the 7-day forecast, and it's rain every day for the next 7 days.
That's brutal. We don't even have it that bad, so haha. But things have been fun in the Pacific League. We've got the games going on and a lot of movement going on the boards. Gabe, what do you have for us on our top story this week?
Our first monthly MVPs have been selected. The winners for the Pacific League are Lions starting pitcher Chihiro Sumida and Buffalo's second baseman Ryo Ota.
Woo!
Sumida went a perfect 4-0 between March and April with a minuscule 0.58 ERA and 30 strikeouts over 31 frames, whereas Ota, the phenom, batted .411 in 27 games with 4 home runs and 18 RBI. I am here for the Ryo Ota season. So exciting.
And I'm here for the Sumida season. I mean, last season I saw the potential in him, but I was like, oh, can he live up to it? And he is living up to it in spades this season. It's crazy how well he's been performing so far.
One of the reasons why the Lions are nestled comfortably in a postseason spot at the moment.
Which very few people saw coming. I think we can safely say.
I at least was able to... I called that they wouldn't be in the basement at least.
That's true. I predicted they'd be 5th. So
did
that's
I.
Better.
The other top story, and this is a wow moment, a banger of a trade. Prospect for prospect. The Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks have sent infielder Richard Tsunagawa O'Brien to the Yomiuri Giants in exchange for first baseman / outfielder Yuto Akihiro and lefty reliever Ryusei Oe. Richard led the Western League in home runs for 4 consecutive seasons, but couldn't quite make the jump to the top club. He only hit 10 home runs over his 100 games in Fukuoka, and none of those home runs came after 2022. Naturally, he hit his first home run for the Giants earlier today.
Naturally.
The returns, not too shabby though. Yuto Akihiro, standing at 200 centimeters tall, broke out as a 20-year-old in 2023, hitting 10 home runs and putting up a 720 OPS for the Giants. Just couldn't find consistent playtime afterwards. He did absolutely rake in Australia for the Adelaide Giants last offseason. And Oe has appeared in 149 games for the Giants, mostly as a reliever, earning 34 holds and 41 tries, career ERA of 3.75 with 94 strikeouts. No such thing as too much bullpen help. Hawks manager Hiroki Kokubo indicated Akihiro would join the farm team out the chute and not get rushed to the top club, and gave his best wishes to Richard for success over in the other league.
Yeah, I mean, Tsunagawa seems like a really nice guy, and I saw some promise from him. Like, again, he's obviously got power, but yeah, he's been struggling a lot to hit consistently. So I never wish ill upon anyone, and it's crazy that he already hit a home run with the Giants. So hopefully he plays well. I mean, we keep sending power bats to the Giants. I mean, Takuya Kai, I think, is still raking over there in Tokyo. So we got to stop giving them our best guys.
I mean, this is because Kazuma Okamoto is injured long-term, so they need someone to play first base, and Tsunagawa fits the bill at least. I'm just surprised that the price was so steep, and they paid it.
Sure.
And for those of you working with Freedom units, 200 centimeters is around 6.7 inches. He tall.
That's a big boy. That's a big boy.
Long
Wait.
boy.
Lengthy. And before we get into the main segment of the show, we're going to take a quick break, take a listen to this new ad.
Let's turn on the sports news network. It's about 5 in the morning. Maybe we can watch some sports before work.
All right, listen, Pally. I don't care how many MVPs he's won. He's not a good quarterback. All right, next caller.
His current expected weighted on-base average is far too low at 327. I want my star player's XWOBA to be closer to 400. I think we should trade him.
And now, time for an ad for a medical supplement that you may not be able to discuss in front of your family, and certainly do not want to be having an awkward conversation about later on. Don't worry, we're going to run this ad repeatedly until everyone in the living room is giving you weird looks.
Now, you could put up with all of that, or you could just get a subscription to Pacific League TV and get all the sports you could want live, 5 a.m., all season long.
And so that brings us to our main segment of the show, the Around the Horn, where we look at every team in the league from top to bottom. And we are starting off with new leaders, the Hokkaido Nippon Ham Fighters. Take it away, Gabe.
Yes, who? Sweeping the Eagles and shutting out the Buffaloes at home yesterday means the Fighters are now a game ahead of the former pennant leaders after they lost to them earlier today. I called it. I know it's still very early in the season, but I had a hunch the Fighters were going to be this good. Pitching is leading the way. Starting pitcher Shoma Kanemura threw a complete game 7-hitter with 9 strikeouts against the Eagles back on May 9th. Taiwanese phenom Gulin Rueyang pitched a 2-hitter Maddox with 7 strikeouts against the Eagles on May 11th. And Hiromi Ito threw 8 shutout innings with 10 strikeouts against the Buffaloes yesterday. For those of you keeping count, that is Shoma Kanemura's 3rd straight complete game win. The last guy to do that for the Fighters? Someone by the name of Yu Darvish. Rarefied air for Kanemura. Right fielder Chusei Manami got into a groove as well, stealing the home run lead courtesy of a pair of home runs in May 10th's game, one of them a grand slam, totaling 6 RBIs. That means Manami has 9, with teammate Franmil Reyes tied for second with 7 home runs. And even the small ball is working out for the Fighters. Buffalo starting pitcher Aden Kuri biffed on a squeeze bunt from the fastest man in Hokkaido, Ryota Isobata, back and healthy, allowing 2 runs to score on a sac bunt yesterday. Gotta love Japanese baseball. Congrats and bonsai to Shu Yamagata for his first career RBI on a 2-run single in yesterday's game. Sadly, not everything here is good news. Reliever Tsubasa Nabatame injured a ligament in his right foot fielding a grounder back on May 7th. He'll be out of action for 3 weeks. In 10 games so far this season, Nabatame has a 2.08 ERA with 4 strikeouts. He will be missed, but when the pitchers are going to go 8-9 innings, you really don't need that much of a bullpen.
Yeah, I was gonna say the Fighters pitching has been crazy this season. Every time I look up their box scores, the starting pitchers just going like 7+ and dealing out there. So they are scary. They are definitely looking like one of the best team in the Pacific League at the moment. But that brings us over to our second place team, the one that's been knocked off, the Oryx Buffaloes. Take it away again, Gabe.
Yeah, 2-3 in their last 5. Something about the Hawks just eats this team. I remember at one point they were 0-12-2 in their last 14 against the Birdies. They are a team built specifically to frustrate the Buffaloes. Not for lack of trying, though. Ryo Ota still got the batting title lead, but it's dwindling down into the 340s. Also in the top 10 are Ryoma Nishikawa at 2nd, Yuma Tongu at 6th, and when I last checked, it was a 3-way tie for 7th between Yutaro Sugimoto, Keita Nakagawa, and Kotaro Kurebayashi. So that is the Buffaloes starting second baseman, left fielder, first baseman, right fielder, center fielder, and shortstop. Yuma Mune, where are you? And no, I'm serious. Well, how come we haven't seen any of his highlight reels? This has been a disappearing act for him. I'm a bit surprised. Hi, Gabe from the future here in the edit booth. That's because Yuma Mune got sent down to the farm team on May 1st.
Yeah, he's sort of been the only Buffalo that hasn't kind of refound that pre-last year form. But I mean, they've been doing really well. Again, maybe not the best week this week, but they have been looking like their former selves throughout the season so far. So I still fear them, even though the Hawks beat up on them. I still see them as a major threat for the pennant.
Absolutely. This is probably just a speed bump. You give them a few more games against the Marines and Eagles, they'll be right as rain.
Yeah, I mean, who wouldn't?
Sorry, Mike.
Kill me.
Mike catching strays all over the time here.
And now, speaking of teams that are challenging for the pennant, the surprise of the season so far, Saitama Seibu Lions sitting in third place, tied with the Buffaloes, and going 4-1 this week, which included a shutout sweep of the Marines at home, which was awesome, with Kaito Yoza, Tetsuya Imai, and Chihiro Sumida all throwing at least 6 scoreless innings, and Sumida striking out 8 over 7, Imai 10 over 7, and bringing their consecutive shutout inning streak to 35 before it ended yesterday. That is the first time in 69 years, nice, that the Lions have shut out sweep an opponent, and against the Marines too, the best opponent to do that too. Sorry, Mike. But I love that it's a total role reversal of last year where they were just getting pounded by the Marines. And yep, now the what do they say? It's something on the other foot. The shoe is on the other foot. Is that a saying? Is that a thing?
Yeah,
Something's on the
something
other
like
something.
that.
Something's on another something, and it's happening now. And speaking of that shutout streak, it started when Sosuke Genda came back. Coincidence? I think not. The human highlight reel is, as always, one of the best defensive players in MPB and has been helping the Lions keep up this good form. And also returning in today's game, last year's Rookie of the Year, Natsuki Takeuchi, which I was super happy. I didn't realize he was coming back. I turned on today's game, and I saw him pitching. I was like, oh, that's awesome. That rocks. He only went 5 innings, giving up 5 hits and 3 walks and 1 earned run, but still picked up the run, still win, I should say. Still looks really good. I can't wait to see him. It's crazy that the Lions have been this good so far this season, and now they're getting back one of their best assets. I think they could make a sneaky run for the pennant, little cheeky run at the pennant.
And let's not forget, they got Kona Takahashi off the schneid finally. This Lions team, this pitching is scary.
The pitching's scary, and the hitting is pure vibes. There's no one batter other than Seiya Watanabe, who's been great for a rookie, but no one's standing out in a particular way. It's just that they always seem to find the hits when they need them. And now I feel like mathematically, I don't know how long you can keep that up, but if the spirit's there, the spirit's there. I don't know. I've got a great feeling about this Lions season, and they're the only team left in the PL with fewer than 100 runs allowed, which is crazy. Like, that's just to get this far in the season and you haven't even given up 100 runs. They are a stout defensive and pitching behemoth at the moment. And one for the fun folder, the Lions will be partnering with the anime Crayon Shin-chan for their interleague series against the Dragons with unique merchandise and special caricatures of Lions players in Shin-chan's unique style. I have not actually seen this yet. I need to see it. That sounds like a lot of fun.
Crayon Shin-chan is one of those anime that has been around for eons. Again, the PL does all these fun partnerships. I don't think other major leagues do this. This is really neat.
Because the PL is the best, and we're the coolest. Coolest kids on the block. Anime is cool now. Get with it. Squares. But that brings us over to our 4th place team, the team that is catching up on everyone, trying to make up for a preposterously bad start to the season by their standards, the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks, and their hot streak continues, with the Hawks now finding themselves 2 games over 500, and just 3 back of the Lions after going 3-2 over the last week. 3-5 would be awful. No, 3-2 over the last week, including beating the Buffaloes on their turf and taking over the Kyocera Dome for yesterday's game. And Gabe, just a quick little history corner check. How many teams were in Tokyo and Osaka between 1979 and 1988?
10 out of 12.
That's insane.
Yeah, the league was very centralized back at that point. You only had the Carp and the Dragons who weren't playing in the Tokyo area or the Osaka area. 1979 being when the Lions moved from Fukuoka to Saitama, in 1988 when the Hawks moved from Osaka out to Fukuoka. A lot of inter-city battles, a lot of tension, but not a lot of market growth. So that's why around 2000, you see the fighters heading up to Hokkaido. You see the Golden Eagles being created and playing in Sendai. It's a little bit interesting to go back and see, like, was that a golden era for baseball, or was it just because every single team was in 2 cities?
Yeah,
certainly made commuting a lot cheaper for the teams.
That's true. I hadn't thought about that, and also for the fans, but also that really hurts the national development of the league. But then again, now if you're a Fukuoka fan, you want to go see a game in Hokkaido, that's quite the trip. But speaking of other Fukuoka goodness, I'm super happy to see how well Akira Nakamura has been playing so far this season. He's been sort of picking up a lot of time filling in for Hotaki Yamakawa. I always thought when Yamakawa showed up that Nakamura should have been the first baseman and Yamakawa should have been the DH because Nakamura is just such a good first baseman defensively. I guess Yamakawa probably wanted to keep playing first base, but now Nakamura is getting his shot and doing great. He's been batting 281 to lead the Hawks and fourth overall, and getting on base at a 379 clip, which is second place in the league. I love Nakamura. he's one of my favorite Hawks, and I'm really happy to see he's one of the only ones not injured. But one of the cool surprises for the Hawks so far this season is Isami Nomura has been filling in for Kenta Amamiya, and he's been batting 370. He just can't qualify for the batting title because he doesn't have quite enough at bats yet. But he's been a great surprise for the Hawks. I'd say pretty much the only positive from the Hawks' rough start with everyone being injured is we've gotten to see a lot of the developmental players kind of try their best to make a splash. Hirose has been pretty good. Nomura's been a great surprise. And so I like that the Hawks are getting to see if prospects are worth investing in. And yeah, Nomura's been a pleasant surprise. So I'm feeling a lot better this week than I have in the last
Hawks
couple of
have what, 4 farm teams at this point?
Yeah,
they've got an entire dev organization, while other teams only have like 1.
Yeah, and you'd hope that would lead to you having some good prospects, which it has. Yay!
The process works.
There you go. And that brings us over to the 5th place team in the league, the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles. Take it away, Mike.
Okay, so for the Rakuten Golden Eagles, rough go lately. What else is new? Swept by the Fighters, but they just won their second straight game against the Marines. They go for the sweep tomorrow morning, and let's be real, they'll probably get the sweep tomorrow morning. After 1,003 days and a Tommy John surgery, Eagles reliever Naoto Nishiguchi picked up his first winning decision. That surgery took place on September 2023, and his most recent win prior to today was August 14th, 2022. So long time coming for him. Glad that his surgery went fine and his recovery was good. Spencer Howard got his first win today. The right-hander got the start in today's game after a few starts in the farm. After a stiff back in March next to spring training. He was quoted by Sports Hochi. He said, "I was able to learn how Japanese hitters approach the game, but most importantly, I was able to learn about conditioning. I think what I learned in the past month will be useful for the rest of the season." Spencer Howard, a name that I'm quite familiar with. I don't believe he was the top prospect for the Phillies for a time, but he was he was at least their top pitching process prior to them getting Andrew Painter. And then he didn't quite work out here. He went to the Rangers and didn't quite work out over there. And I believe he might have been somewhere after that. I'm not too certain, but yeah, former highly rated pitching prospect. So glad that he has found success at least so far with the Rockton Golden Eagles, and I hope to see more of that. They got an interesting thing going on there. One of the top former Phillies prospects, Michael Franco, on the offensive part of the game, and former top pitcher. That's really cool. And on May 22nd, there will be a special Samurai Japan Day. The first 600 people to follow the special SNS account for the event will get a free replica Samurai Japan jersey, and Rakuten alumni Ginji will throw out the ceremonial first pitch. Once again, that's
Ginji is
May
my
22nd.
homeboy. Yes.
Woo, Ginji stuff.
Let's go, Ginji. But that is all I have for the Eagles, so I'll just go into the Marines because I like pain.
Yeah, I'll let you just. I wanted to get all eloquent about birds with clipped wings and struggling in the Bay of Chiba, but you're probably good. You probably don't need my my bloviating on your pain list. So yeah, go for it.
I have parrots, and the one's got clipped wings, but he doesn't even know he can fly. So I mean, that's relevant.
Like the Marines.
He just walks. Oh no, they don't walk. They just don't do anything. But speaking of not doing anything, they got shut out by the Lions, shut out and swept by the Lions at Balloon Dome. They lost 1-0, 7-0. And you'll never believe this one, 10-0. They only got 13 hits across the whole weekend. Then they lost on a walk-off sac fly to Rockton at home. Currently 4 back of the Eagles. They're on a 5-game skid. Their last win came on May 7th. To try and make you ignore what's going on, some news broke out that they will be relocating their ballpark inland to stop the corrosion from Tokyo Bay seawater. The new stadium will be built by the Chiba city government on Makuhari Messe parking lot. Asahi Shimbun is the one that reported on that one. Having been to Zozo Marine Stadium at night, that seawater makes it very cold. My friend told me to wear 2 coats. Me being dumb, wore 1 coat, and I don't think I've been that cold in my life. That was a fun time. That was April 19th, 2019, I think. Horrendously cold, and they got beat by the Oris Buffaloes. So they even back then they were losing. But overall, team is just genuinely not hitting. They didn't even reach third base at all in this morning's game. They didn't make it past second, so don't know what's going on there. I mean, I didn't get to watch that game, but it's when I do watch the games and the replays, it's just pain.
They're in
But
a
I don't want
slump.
to.
It happens, you know?
Yeah, it's a year
I
long.
mean,
It's a season
this
long
is a
slump.
really bad slump.
Jimbo's over there being nefarious and preying on my downfall. But anyway, it's okay, I do it to him all the time. But we will end on a happy note for both teams, the Eagles and the Marines. Congratulations to former Eagle and Marine pitcher Hideaki Wakui, who recorded his second win of the season with the Dragons over in other league. That's his 10th win with the Dragons, and he's the first pitcher in 42 years to record 10 or more wins with 4 different teams. In order, he did it with Seibu, Chiba, Rakuten, and now Chunichi. The last person to do it was Osamu Nomura, who did it with the Taiyo Whales, Lotte Orions, Nippon Ham, and Hanshin in that order.
That's pretty cool.
One of the
Yeah, we have
old
some.
boys of the league.
Love my OBs. Big OB fan.
And so before ending today's show, we will take a look at our familiar faces in new places, and I will do it this week. So, on the good side, the Dodgers may be a little 50-50 lately, but that is not the fault of reigning MVP Shohei Ohtani, who picked up a pair of home runs and 7 hits over the last week, wedging him into the 10th best average, while also being top 3 in home runs and OPS, and leading the league in runs. He's pretty good at baseball. You know, you ever see this guy? He's pretty good. He's not bad. And speaking of guys who are pretty good, Kodai Senga has been razor sharp lately. His legendary Ghost Fork is helping him just shred batters in the National League, helping him pick up 11 strikeouts over the last 2 games while only giving up 1 run over that same stretch. He's making a very strong case for the Cy Young Award this year, sitting at 4-2 with a league-best 1.22 ERA so far this season. And sitting right behind him in the ERA race is fellow PL alumni ace of aces Yoshinobu Yamamoto with a 1.8 ERA. Unfortunately, the former Buffalo and PL MVP got smacked around a bit by the Diamondbacks last outing, but I'm sure he'll rebound. He's been great this season, so it's not that bad. But unfortunately, fellow Dodger Roki Sasaki continues to struggle stateside, giving up 5 runs over 4 innings in his last outing, bringing his season ERA to 4.72. And to add injury to insult, he is now going on the DL with a shoulder impingement, which is, quote, similar to what limited him to 18 starts last year in Chiba, as per MLB.com's Kyle Glazer. So that sucks. But, you know who I forgot about, who we hadn't talked about in a long time? Yuki Matsui. He picked up over 5 outings this last week. He's been getting a lot of work done. He gave up no runs and has had a couple strikeouts and, been doing a great job as a relief pitcher for the Padres. Not gonna lie, totally forgot about him until we were talking about it in today's notes. But good to see most of our PL boys doing great. I am a little worried about Sasaki, but that's I was worried about him when he said he was going anyway. So that tracks, right?
I also want to give a shout out to a familiar face in a different place. Former Hokkaido Nippon Ham fighter and Rakuten Eagle Cody Ponce is now pitching for the Hanwha Eagles in the KBO. He's got a 1.68 ERA over 9 games, 7 of them wins, all 7 quality starts. He's struck out 75 batters over 59 innings pitched. Like, he's had a couple of 12 and 13 strikeout games.
That's
it's one of the
crazy.
reasons why the Hanwha Eagles sit second in the KBO right now. I am shook. They're not supposed to be this good.
Yeah, that's awesome. Good for him. Big ups to Mr. Ponce. But that brings us to the end of today's show. And so for our question of the day from us to you and you to us, what is your favorite summer sport other than baseball? Because I think that goes without saying. I'm not sure for me. cricket comes to mind, but that being a summer sport depends on where you are in the world and how you define summer. But then also, I love cycling. Like I've been cycling like a maniac this last week. Now that the weather, I'm just biking every day, and I it's like the only form of exercise I enjoy doing. So I don't know if that counts, but yeah, cycling for me or cricket. The very English answer. What about you, Gabe?
For me, does softball count or is that too close to baseball? I'm in two leagues
That's awfully close.
Yeah, all right. So I am in two leagues for the season. And other than that, enjoying the swimming pool now that the weather's nice enough to justify taking a dip and going for the occasional hike around the
Ooh.
neighborhood. I live next to a ravine, which is nice and wooded and has plenty of green space. So I can get like a good hour-long ramble around, work up a sweat.
That's nice. That's my favorite thing about summer. You can just go out. That's what I
You can
hate.
just go. Yeah.
Just go places. Like winter sucks because you gotta think about where, and then there's nothing to do when you get out there. Just summer, you can just enjoy the air, just enjoy everything. Unless you live in Philly and it's always raining and it sucks. So, Mike, what are you doing to enjoy yourself lately?
Didn't think there were any other summer sports, so now I'm on the Wikipedia for summer sports, and this underwater target shooting one looks pretty cool.
That's sick. That rules.
I didn't know
That's
this was a
very
thing. They're like
Philadelphia.
shooting things with spears.
Whoa.
I'm gonna go with
So
this one. This
I
dude's
was
wearing
imagining
tactical gear underwater.
I was imagining like underwater biathlon, which cool enough. With spears, that's even better.
So
That'd
here's
be
the thing.
cool.
This article says that's part of like an underwater biathlon. You can just
That's
dive underwater and shoot things with a spear. I'm gonna go
well,
with this.
yeah, I'm gonna go read up on underwater shooting or whatever the hell that is. Well, that brings us to the end of today's show. Thank you as ever for listening. Like, comment, subscribe, do all that YouTubey stuff, and check out our top 10 plays that will be coming out this week. And we'll see you again next time on the podcast. Take care.